Good morning. So let's talk about permitted use. So one of the parts of a lease that a lot of people kind of gloss over, but they don't really think about very hard, is the permitted use part of a lease. Now, what is that? This is the part of the lease which describes what is it that the tenant's allowed to do in the property. Now, this can be really important. And in fact, it always is really important to make sure that it's really well defined. Especially if you're a landlord, you want to make sure that the use that the tenant's going to use the property for is well defined, so that you can make sure that it's not in breach of any laws around what the property can be used for. You want to make sure that there's a good mix of tenants and that people are doing the right thing within the premises. It also matters from whether or not the lease is a retail shop lease or not, and it can also impact the value of the property depending on what's actually in there. And so you want to be really careful about what that is. And most of the time, it's pretty well defined or kept reasonably general, so that can cover what the tenant will do. But you also, if you're a tenant, you want to make sure that you're defining what is in there. I remember back when I was a junior solicitor, I used to do a lot of work for hairdressers. And one of the things that we always made sure of was that the clause didn't just say that the hairdressing salon was a hairdressing salon. It also talked about the sale of related products. And why that's important is because, say, if it's just a hairdressing salon, then unless you can argue that selling, say, hair conditioner and things like that are part of the hairdressing salon business, which is arguable, then you may not be able to sell other products, especially if a landlord puts in another type of tenant. That's just one example. There's plenty of others that I could give, but that's just one example of where you want to make sure that the permitted use really defines exactly what you're doing, whether you're a tenant or a landlord, so that there can be no confusion. I love the saying that a well-drafted agreement makes a great relationship, because it means that you're defining all those parts. So make sure that you don't just gloss over what permitted use goes into a lease, and that you're really making sure that it's properly defining for both the landlord and the tenant, so there can be no confusion as to what's going on in the business. Have a great day. Bye.